Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have a real gem of frustration for you, Forgotten Worlds on Sega Genesis. Yes, that fantastic shooter from Capcom that gave us pure chaos in the arcades, but now we have to see what the home version on Genesis. Get ready to spin around, but not the fun way. So, Forgotten Worlds. The idea is simple. You're a nameless space dude. Yes, literally, you're the nameless one, and your goal is to fly through levels packed with monsters and robotic enemies, shooting wildly with your spinning weapon and making everything explode. Oh, and there's another guy with you, if you have a friend crazy enough to play co-op. But here's the real trick. You can fly, yes, but the real disaster is that damn control system. You see, to shoot in all directions, you have to use the C key to rotate your character. And when I say rotate, I mean it feels like you're operating a crazy washing machine. Want to shoot high? Well, get ready to spin like a drunk dancer while enemies tear you to pieces.
I understand that in 1988 the idea of being able to shoot in all directions was revolutionary, but on Genesis? Well, there are times here where it feels like the game is trying to fool the player. You move to the right, your character starts to rotate to the left, enemies attack you from every angle, and there you are, fighting against the damn control system more than against the enemies themselves. And speaking of enemies, Forgotten Worlds doesn't miss anything. The difficulty is ridiculous. There's an endless wave of robots, aliens, flying creatures, and enormous bosses that want you dead, and for some reason your weapon looks like a water gun in comparison. Yes, you can power it up, but guess how you do it? Collecting money from enemies. Because apparently, even in the space apocalypse, capitalism always wins. Now, we need to talk about the store. Yes, you have a shop in the middle of the levels. And here's the twist. You can buy us upgrades, weapons, extra life. But, guess what? Power-ups are super expensive. You spend a fortune only to discover that the new gun you bought is just as useless as the old one. Thanks, game. It was just what we needed.
But come on, it's not all to throw away. I have to admit that Forgotten Worlds on Genesis has its moments of glory. Graphically, for a 1989 title, it did the job. The sprites are well drawn, the enemies are varied, and the bosses are absolutely huge and menacing. There's a clear effort put into trying to port the arcade version to the Genesis, and the soundtrack, well, it's not bad. Sure, the metallic sounds of gunshots will make you want to turn off the volume, but otherwise, the music is catchy. But, goodness, guys, let's talk about the difficulty. This game challenges you not only because of its design, but because the controls make each level a titanic battle against frustration. Here's a tip from a friend: if you plan to play it in co-op, be prepared to argue with your partner. Two people trying to manage the rotating chaos of Forgotten Worlds is an experience that could easily turn into a couples therapy session. Oh, and before I forget, there's that password thing. Yes, the game has a password system to continue from the level where you died. But let me tell you, every time you enter that password, it's like trying to crack a secret code. They are very long, and it seems like the game wants to make you lose patience just to pick up where you left off.
At the end of the day, Forgotten Worlds for Sega Genesis is one of those experiences that makes you wonder if it was actually worth it. It's a game that tries to be something special, but between the absurd controls, frustrating difficulty, and spinning mechanics, you find yourself laughing or throwing the controller at the wall. If you're looking for a classic arcade experience but with the challenge of having to fight against the controls rather than the enemies, Forgotten Worlds is for you. If you just want to have fun and shoot randomly without going crazy, well, maybe it's better to look elsewhere. But, hey, at the end of the day, it's always worth seeing how far you can get before you lose your mind. Guys, that's all for today. Leave me a comment if you hated these damn controls as much as I do, or if you think I'm just complaining too much. See you at the next gaming disaster. And remember, if the game turns you on, go around too, but not like in Forgotten Worlds.